Hey guys, Take the Bait here, bringing you a Pokemon OU Showdown battle. I know it's been a while, as I said, I don't have much time because, I still have a lot of work. However, since, I can't frequently upload these videos for you guys to watch, I decided to do something a little different because, my last video, I did kind of do an in-depth analysis, but not too in-depth. So this time in this video, I want to be spending a lot of time on team preview because team preview is obviously something extremely important, and some people take team preview for granted, but it's a very, very important game mechanic that was released in Gen 5, and a lot of people need to understand the importance of team preview. So I hopefully in this match you guys can see my thought process as I go over both of our teams, because team preview is very helpful because first of all you can see which Pokemon on your team poses the biggest threat to your team, and then you know you can obviously lead off with a Pokemon that counters their lead and blah blah blah. Team preview is obviously something very important, and people need to learn how to utilize it correctly if they want to play competitively. So, without further ado, let's get into this team. As I said, I'm going to be spending a lot of time on team preview. So, on my team, I have Deal Speed, and I really love Deal Speed, especially the offensive Life Orb set, which I'm running in this battle. My Deal Speed is max special attack, max speed with plus special attack nature with Psycho Boost, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and Superpower. Superpower is there to hit Pokemon like Bisharp if they don't want to Sucker Punch me for some reason, but mostly there to hit Detours. Next, I've got my Bandit Infernape, a set that I've wanted to use for a long time. This thing is incredible. It does a lot of damage. And by the way, Infernape is a new U. I don't really know why. I know like tiering is based off of usage, but I still see Infernape a lot. I mean, I don't see him like a lot, but he's definitely not uncommon. So I don't think the Defender really belongs in you. It's pretty good in OU in my opinion, especially this bandit set I'm running. It's really, really awesome. I'm running Flare Blitz, Close Combat, U-Turn, and T-Punch with Blaze instead of Iron Fist because, with Blaze I can whittle down my health with Flare Blitz to the point where I reach Blaze range so that my Flare Blitzes will do a lot more damage. So that's why I run Blaze over Iron Fist. Next I got my physically defensive Mega Venusaur, max HP, max defense with plus defense nature. I've got Leech Seed, Earthquake, Gauge Rain, and Synthesis. I've got my Scarf T-Tar, another set that I've wanted to use for a long time. Scarf T-Tar is pretty good. It's pretty uncommon. I mean, it's not like rare, but it's uncommon. And I'm running Crunch, Stone Edge, Earthquake, and Superpower. Uh, this T-Tar doesn't work in this battle. Next I have my Life Orb Thunderous Incarnate with Volt Switch, T-Wave, Focus Blast, and HP Ice. And lastly, I have my Skyrim with max HP, max special defense with Stealth Rocks, Brave Bird, Roost, and Defog. I wanted to put Whirlwind on this Skyrim. However, I do want Roost for the recovery. I obviously want Stealth Rocks and Defog, and I want Brave Bird for damage. So that's why I don't have Whirlwind on this Skarmory. And now for this guy's team, he's got the Dio defense, which poses a kind of a problem to my team because I don't really have a way to really, kill this thing that effectively. Because I mean, I do have Fernape, and Fernape can two-hit KO this with a Bandit Flow Blitz. However, if he T-waves me, then I'll be slower, and then he can just start recover stalling me, which I don't want. And I believe Scarf T-Tar fails to two-hit KO Dio defense with Crunch, which is unfortunate. So this Dio defense is a problem. Next, it's got this Bisharp, which is another problem, especially with Sword stances. You can start Iron hitting my Mega Venusaur for a lot of damage, and you can also, do a lot of damage to knockoff, do a lot of damage to my Skarmory with knockoff if he's at +2. However, it shouldn't be too much of a problem because, I do have Scarf T-Tar and I can O-Code with Superpower, so I need T-Tar around for Bisharp, and for his Landorus Incarnate. Landorus also poses kind of a problem, but then again, I do have Skarmory. Skarmory can eat up most of this Landorus's moves. It can take a Psychic, immune to Sludge Wave. I mean, if it has Focus Blast, then that will be a problem, and if it does have Focus Blast, definitely my team is in trouble. But I do have Deal Speed, which does outspeed it if it's not Scarfed, and then I can KO with Ice Beam. Next we've got Caesar. This Caesar could be a Swords Dance set, which may pose a problem to my team. And he may be a Mega Caesar, but I didn't know if he was Mega or not when I looked in the team preview. Next he's got this Latios, which could be Specs. Nothing on my team really appreciates the Draco Meteor, not even my T-Tar, because my T-Tar isn't defensive in any way at all. However, if I do keep T-Tar healthy, I can just easily outspeed it because I am Scarf and just KO with Crunch. And lastly, he has his Kodio, which may be his Specs user. And it shouldn't be, this Kodio shouldn't be too much a problem since I do have Mega Venusaur. And he may have HP Psychic, but I got T-Tar to scout out for HP Psychic. So without further ado, let's get into this battle. I want to be pausing, a lot so that I can explain why I made the moves I made. So yeah, let's get into this battle. Alright, so I lead off with my Deal Speed, and he's going to lead off with his Landorus. Now the reason why I lead off with my Deal Speed was because I was predicting him to lead off with his Deal Defense. So the reason why I led off with my Deal Speed was because I wanted to bluff that I had Taunt, and then that maybe would make him switch into something else, and then I can get off some big damage with like a Psycho Boost or something. That was my thought process, but he leads up with a Landorus, which is perfect because I do have Ice Beam. Hopefully he actually just stays in and goes for an attack, maybe just thinking that I'm your traditional Stealth Rock lead. But I do reveal that I am offensive, so I can take out this huge threat, which is huge, absolutely huge in this match. And then he's going to go into his Deal Defense, knowing that I'm offensive, because I showed that I have Life Orb, and Life Orb Deal Defense usually doesn't carry Taunt, so he just goes into Deal Defense and sets up his rocks. Now here, I just want to Flare Blitz this thing, and he does go for T-Wave here, which is unfortunate because now my Freedom is really slow and it's not that useful anymore. And here I just want to keep spamming Flare Blitz, just trying to whittle down this Deal Defense's health because I don't have a good way to deal with this. I believe I do get parried twice in a row here, so I'm going to go for another cover, and I get parried here again. And here he switches into his Keldeo, which is perfect because I get a bunch of damage on this Keldeo with this Blitz. I mean, it does 50%. That's simply insane. So here, the reason why I stayed in with the Fernie was because I didn't really have a safe switch in, because if he did go for HP Psychic, then he could have done a bunch of damage to my Venusaur, especially since I haven't Mega Evolved with it yet. So that's why I just let my Fernie die, because it wouldn't have done too much to his team anyway, because it was paralyzed, so it wouldn't be outspeeding anything. So anyway, I let my Fernie die, and I believe I do go into my Skarmory. No, I go into my Thundurus. Wanting to get that momentum, I'm going to go for the Volt Switch, and you're going to see that this Volt Switch does a massive amount of damage to this Scizor, so it's most likely an offensive Scizor, that's for sure. I'm going to go into my Scarf T-Tar, trying to kill the Stone Edge. If he's going to go into his Kodio, I miss a Stone Edge, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, I probably would have been able to 2-KO it, but it really didn't matter. So I want to go into Venusaur because I know he's not going to go for the HP Psychic or the HP Flying. And judging by how much damage this Scald does, I predict this Kodio to actually be Specs, because I am physically defensive, but that Scald still did a lot. So I'm going to Mega Evolve right here, and I'm predicting the switch. So he does switch, which means that he probably is Specs. He's going to go into his Latios, so I'm going to go for the Leech Seed, but I miss, which doesn't really matter that much at all. And here he's going to go into his Kodio, and I'm actually going to switch into my Skarmory, so maybe he predicted that. Here I get a little bit lucky. He actually misses this Hydro Pump, which really does suck for him, but I'm going to just Defog. Here I was hoping that he was going to switch, maybe being scared of my Brave Bird, but he just stays in and goes for Hydro Pump. But I live it, so that's really impressive, Skarmory, because Skarmory doesn't have the best special defense, and I just lived a Specs Hydro Pump from Keldeo, so that's really impressive, and I get to take it out with Brave Bird. And I'm going to actually go into my Mega Venusaur, and he's just going to Iron Head me. The reason why I went to Mega Venusaur is because I didn't really need it, and I could save Skarmory for Death Water. So I'm going to go into my T-Tar, and he still doesn't know that I'm Scarfed, which means I can KO it with a superpower. That is absolutely huge, which means another big threat on his team is gone. He's going to go into his Scizor now, and I'm going to go into my Skarmory, just sacking it off. And luckily he doesn't go for a Sword Stance, or else that would have been a problem for me. So he just takes me out with the Bullet Punch, which is perfectly fine, because now I can go back into my Thundurus and easily kill it with the Volt Switch. But he actually switches into his Dealer Defense, so I get the Volt Switch off, and I switch into my T-Tar, hoping that, I can hopefully kill it with a Crunch after Sandstorm damage. But you guys will see that it fails to kill it, and it lives with a sliver of health. But here he makes an odd play, which may have cost him the match. He actually goes for Stealth Rocks. If he went for T-Wave here, he could have won. And he should have known that my T-Tar was Scarfed by now, because I just outsped his Bisharp. So I don't really know why he went for the rocks. I don't think that was his smartest play. He definitely should have T-Waved me, because then my T-Tar would have been really slow, and it would have basically been useless for the rest of this match. So I definitely do disagree with that play. It was a misplay on his part. So anyway, his Geo defense dies from the Sandstorm damage, and now he's going to bring in his Scizor. He's going to go for the Bullet Punch, and even though I'm not defensive, I can still live it, because the T-Tar is still ridiculously bulky. I take it out with Crunch, and now basically I got the game in the bag, because I do outspeed this Larios since I'm Scarfed. Take it out with a Crunch. So that was a great game. Basically, the reason why I lost was because he didn't T-Wave my T-Tar. Actually, I'm not too sure if that cost him the match, but he may have had a better chance of winning if he T-Waves my T-Tar, because he should have known that my T-Tar was Scarfed, because I outsped his Bisharp. But otherwise, that was a great game. He definitely had a lot of threats on his team. His team was pretty hyper offensive, that was for sure. His only defensive Pokemon was, Dio Defense, and that was only there to quickly set up hazards. So basically, that was a great game. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed this video, please like or subscribe. That would definitely help me out a lot. So see you guys next time on the next video. Bye!